Hey everyone, welcome back to our channel. I'm Garrett with the O'Leary Brothers team, and thank you for clicking on this video. Today I'm going to be diving into a topic that all prospective homebuyers have been asking themselves, and that is now a good time to be buying a home on the Emerald Coast? In an area that's known for its warm weather, crystal clear waters, and stunning beaches, it's hard to argue that it's ever a bad time to buy. But the question still remains. So without further ado, let's get into it. So before we get into answering the question, we need to comment really quickly on the state of the market here on the Emerald Coast. Over the last few years, we have experienced a steady growth in home prices, but the demand has remained incredibly high. However, the fluctuations in the economy with inflation and interest rates have really put buyers into a state of limbo. Overall, the market here on the Emerald Coast is relatively healthy, and we'll jump into more details in just a little bit. With so many buyers questioning whether or not they should buy, it's worth commenting on the economic stability of the Emerald Coast. We're very fortunate that we are home to some of the largest military installations in the nation, which constantly bring in new military personnel that are all looking to buy. Couple this with a robust tourism industry, and the area has a thriving economy and is something that is very stable. Plus, Okaloosa County boasts an unemployment rate of just 2.3%, which is amongst the lowest in all of Florida. Now we can finally talk about some of the real estate statistics. So there are over 3,000 active listings on the market as we speak, but if you look back to the beginning of this year, there have been over 6,000 sold listings for a median price of $425,000. If you compare it to 2022, that median sold price is $429,900. Now obviously, comparing those two side by side, you can see that post-COVID, prices have remained relatively stable. What has changed, however, is the number of sold listings. From January 2023 to the date that I'm making this video, which is July 29th, 2023, there have been 6,111 listings sold. Now, if you look at the same time period for 2022, that number of listings sold was 8,598, which is a 29% drop in the number of listings sold. Now, a quick explanation as to why we've seen such a drop in number of sold listings and why the prices have remained relatively the same is probably mostly because of interest rates. We all know what they were a few years ago, and we all know what they are now, so most people are just kind of put off at buying right now. So it's kind of a mixture of a number of different factors. Speaking of interest rates, the Fed plays a huge role in everybody's ability to buy a home. Right now, most buyers that we are working with are looking to have interest rates be in the mid to upper 7% range. For obvious reasons, this really turns a lot of people away, just because only a few years ago they knew that those interest rates were in the 2s and 3% range, and now they're tripled basically. So it puts off a lot of people buying. Now, really quickly, let's try to put everything I just talked about off to the side. I know, kind of weird, but let's talk about lifestyle. One of the biggest reasons a lot of people move to the Emerald Coast is the lifestyle and just the atmosphere and the actual location. The Emerald Coast is known for its warm weather, perfect beaches, and perfect water, and sort of the slow-paced lifestyle that everybody kind of wants. So if you are thinking about moving to the Emerald Coast, consider that as a huge factor. Again, you might enjoy life so much more compared to where you live right now. Also, you are moving to what would be, in most cases, a more affordable area, especially if you're coming from places like California, New York, Chicago, you know, the bigger cities and the bigger states. It's gonna be more than likely a more affordable place for you to call home. Plus, if you have a young family, the school system in all of the Emerald Coast is actually some of the best in the nation. So if you have young kids and you want them to get a good education, the Emerald Coast is a perfect place for them. Ultimately, we know that finances play a huge role in what you can actually buy, but if you want a good place to live that is going to provide you entertainment year-round, amazing weather and an amazing location, plus if you have that young family, great schools, then the Emerald Coast could be the perfect place for you and really ultimately help you make that final decision. Okay, now we're finally on to the conclusion. Let's take everything I've talked about so far and try to answer that question of, is now a good time to buy on the Emerald Coast? If you take into consideration the health of the economy and the market trends, I would say right now is the most opportune time to buy than it probably will be for quite some time. I make that conclusion simply because, again, prices have remained the same and interest rates are going to get higher and higher. I don't see those coming down anytime soon. And as you probably know, as interest rates get higher, it becomes more and more expensive to borrow, which means your budget gets smaller and smaller. I know that may seem a little backwards because things are just very expensive right now, especially how much it costs to actually borrow money. But again, you have to take in consideration that the economy here is thriving. It is very, very strong. You have a market trend where prices are stabilizing and staying relatively the same. And personally, I don't see prices getting lower, and I don't see interest rates getting lower either. So right now, again, is the most opportune time for you to buy, even if you think back, and it may hurt, thinking back to just a few years ago where things were 2 and 3% for interest rates. It's just, that's never gonna come back. We're not gonna see that for hopefully not a very long time, because that just means we've gone through another pandemic or something serious. But again, if you have the money and you want to buy, think about the lifestyle that you want and think about the home that you will be getting. And basically from there, you can make your decision. Obviously, I can't guarantee that the market is going to shift dramatically, or it's not going to shift dramatically by next year. But I would say for all things that I've seen and everything we've been through, I would say the price is going to remain the same, interest rates are going to get higher, and right now could be your best time to buy. So if you're looking to move to the Emerald Coast, go ahead and reach out to us. Sean and I would be happy to help in any way we can. I'll leave our contact information right here. You can give us a call, shoot us a text, or send us an email, and we'll be happy to help you in any way we can. As always, thank you for watching this video, and we will see you in the next one.